Hey, part D. Part D. Part 2. I'm just trying to be funny. So, part 2. Don't forget, here's the, to tell you the sine, cosine, and tangent of 30, 45, and 60. And here's the x, y, and r, which I wish you kind of had memorized. And we would be having pop quizzes, probably 2-3 times a week to get you to memorize this. But I can't do it now. Coterminal, 1 negative, 1 positive. Here's 20. That's probably still a little bit too big. But 360 and 20 more would be 380. And then going the other way, you're 20 short of 360, so it'd be a negative 340. This one, negative 50. Wee. So that's 310 short of the circle. And negative 360 and negative 50 would be negative 410. So that shouldn't be too bad, I hope. I don't know why it seems so much darker right now. Okay. So sine of 270. Now there's only 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 270 is right here. That's 0, negative 1. Sine is y over r. Y is negative 1. R is always 1 if you pick the 1 unit from it. So negative 1. Negative 90 is actually the exact same location. And x is 0, so 0 divided by 1 is 0. Woohoo! 180 is right here. And that is negative 1, 0. Tangent is y over x, 0 divided by negative, it froze there, sorry about that. 0 divided by negative 1 is 0. Ooh, we got another 180. So that's negative 1 divided by 0. Now secant's the reciprocal of cosine, so just find cosine and flip it. Cosine's x over r, so negative 1 over 1 would be negative 1. Flipped, or reciprocal, is negative 1. 6. Well, it's gonna be one of those mornings. Sorry, it's starting to freeze all the time. So that would be 1, 0, or the same as 0 degrees. Sine is y over r, so it'd be 0. Whee! And that's all. Woohoo! Now, reference angles. Well, this is in the first quadrant. I was trying to trick you, I guess. So 60 degrees, sine is positive. They're all positive in the first. Because x is positive, y is positive, r is always positive. Sine is y over r. We already know that. And we know sine of 60 is square root of 3 over 2. And it's positive. Negative 45, that'd be here. The reference angle is 45 because that's how many units are between the terminal side and the closest x-axis. And cosine's positive in the fourth quadrant because it's x over r. X is positive. R is always positive. And cosine of 45 is square root of 2 over 2. So cosine 45. By the way, I was watching a show about math and movies, and they were saying that whenever they put someone on the edge of a bridge, what they do, let's say here's the person at the bridge, they don't want to put them right on the edge. Let's say here's the little river. So what they'll do is they'll draw triangles and they'll build a little ramp. So the person's actually standing back on the bridge, but since they're up and their camera's at an angle, it looks like they're right on it, and they use trigonometry to figure out what this height should be. So when you have the angle, it looks like it's at the edge of the bridge still. Well, I don't know if you like that or not. I thought it was interesting. So 150, whee. So it's the 30 degrees because that's how many degrees between the 180 and the 150. It's in the second quadrant. Tangent's negative in the second quadrant because tangent's y over x. Y is positive, but x is negative in the second quadrant. So it'd be a negative tangent of 30. And in the chart, you'll see that tangent of 30 is square root of 3 over 3. Woohoo! Tangent of 225, that's in the third quadrant. The reference angle is 45, so it'd be tangent of 45, and tangent's positive in the third because x is negative, y is negative. Tangent's y over x, two negatives make a positive. And if you remember, tangent of 45 is 1. 330. So, let's see, it's in the fourth quadrant. Y is negative, sine is y over r, so it would be negative. And the reference angle, how many degrees between here and here? Well, that's 30 degrees. So it'd be a negative a half. Look at your chart. So you're doing these before I'm doing them, I'm hoping. But anyways, 2 tens in the third quadrant. Cosine is x over r. X is negative in the third quadrant. Y is 2. It doesn't really matter for cosine, but it is. So negative, and then r is always positive, so cosine would be negative. The reference angle is 30 degrees. How many degrees between the terminal and the closest x? And cosine of 30 is square root of 3 over 2. And then cosecant 390, remember cosecant's the reciprocal of sine. 390, wee, and then a wee bit more past. That's 30 degrees. We're in the first. They're all positive in the first. So that's the same as cosecant of 30. So what you do is you just find the sine of 30 and take the reciprocal. Sine of 30 is a half. Reciprocal would be 2. So hopefully you're kind of doing okay with this. You can always email me and then I can do a problem for you on YouTube if you're really having trouble. Hey, have a good day.